All right, welcome back to Chapter 8. We're going to look at methods for modifying a string in this example. So we've got a few different methods here on how to insert a character or characters within a string, or remove characters, or how to trim off excess characters to do that. And we can also trim off starting at a particular point, or trim starting at a particular point. So a lot of different methods in this video right here. So here's how the syntax might look. So we can take a string and we're going to insert, starting in a particular spot, what do we want to insert? So here's an example. If we have a string called New City and we want to put New York City in there, we could say let's take that string and let's insert, use the method here called insert, at index 4, so that would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then type the word York in there. And it would look like that. So we'd probably want to put in an extra space in there. I think the way that the computer people did it, there should be an extra space there, otherwise it wouldn't work, or these two would touch each other. So that's how inserting would work. Now removing would work basically in a similar fashion to that. If we have an example here called Blueberry, and we want to take the first 4 characters out, or remove, sorry, from after the 4th character. So that'd be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's remove basically everything after that. So the output is just the word blue. So if we want to chop or truncate or do any of that kind of stuff, we could use a method here called remove. So we can insert into a string, or we can remove data from a string by using those two methods right there. Now we've got a method here called trim, start trim, and end trim. And what this is allowing us to do is, if we wanted to have some input, and let's say the data was inputted might have had some leading spaces or trailing spaces, we can use a function here called, a method here called trim. And basically what that would do is it would take our variable here called hello, trim off the leading and the following spaces, trim off those, and then in this case what they're doing is they're concatenating a couple of symbols here, so the output would be trimmed off, but then they would concatenate those two symbols. And that's what's going on right there. Now in this example, we could have a method here called trim only at the start, and that would trim off the leading spaces and essentially do the same thing. It just the leading spaces, or we could have it here with the trailing spaces. In that case, it would trim off the excess spaces. So trim basically just trims off extra blank characters. So it's reserved primarily for space bars. And that happens sometimes when people are entering data. They might start with a space or end with a space, and that might impact our input or our data from our user. So it's a way of cleaning the data, or data validation, is by using these methods right here.